Okay, this is about the time of year that I usually put out my first garden video official and things planted. It's a little later because, well, today's Monday and last week was Memorial Day. But this is really more like real Memorial Day when Monday was at the tail end of the month of May. So this is where we're at. I've actually made a lot more progress than I could have imagined. Pretty much everything is planted that I got from the nursery and seeds, and we'll see where things evolve from here. But this is the humble start. Now this end of my garden is the end that gets sunlight, and you're going to see that I've basically just decided to shut off the second half of the garden in lieu of the garden version 2 out in the yard where it gets a lot more sunlight. This here doesn't get sunlight until, geez, noon maybe? I don't know, maybe a little earlier. I'm gonna have to look. But the back part that I shut off, it doesn't completely, this whole thing doesn't completely get in sunlight until 1. So it's things I'm planting here. You can see the alternating plants here. There's some Swiss chard down there. There's first one is tomato. There's let's see, 3 cucumber plants. The nursery had them in 3, so I tried to break them apart and make them survive, and I've succeeded in most cases in breaking them apart and making them survive. Another tomato, nothing there yet. Another tomato, 3 more cucumbers, 3 more cucumbers. I want a million cucumbers. I never get them, but I want them. Pepper. This is a yellow squash. I think, actually, I should say what it is on here. It is a cabbage right there. And I think that's the yellow squash. And that's a yellow squash. Right here, in this, I've planted bush beans. Nothing here yet. Actually, 2 tomato plants in this one. Then we're over to the I don't think I did this row up here, did I? I was going right around the corner. Tomato, tomato, pepper, tomato, that's cherry tomato, Brussels sprouts, I think, pepper, Swiss chard, Trombosino squash seeds, tomato, and I think that's another cabbage. Nothing yet. I think it's another cabbage. Nothing, another cabbage, nothing. There isn't too much planted this far over. Now I had this here, there's this raised garden which I haven't even fully filled in yet. I had that, if you go to the last video I made, you'll see it was way back there, 2 rows back. See, that's a 1 row, another row. I moved that way up front. I was actually planting stuff in the ground. I've had much better luck moving stuff forward and planting stuff in well-tilled pots, so to heck with the ground. I might put something in the ground here, but another part of me would like to move that over there all the way up here too, but I can't move it. It's really big. I'm going to need some manpower to get that moved into this area, and then everything will be up here where I want it. I could then, if I wanted to, just take everything from this row all the way back to the fence and just, move anything that's important left back there, and just fold the garden in half and put the fence across half of it and just be half the size. Because I don't think I'm ever going to have the money to trim all these trees all the way up. It's probably never going to happen. Not enough years left, so anyway, that's probably where this garden is going. You can see I dug out a lot of this back here to get soil to refill pots that I think I talked about how they were poisoned by, or possibly poisoned. So anyway, I gotta rake this all and maybe fill it in with something. Maybe take this row here and throw it, level it down and throw it over there. Make everything level, pull out all these, plant grass seed. There's some Jerusalem artichokes over there that I might leave. They seem to grow, but I think they're growing worse and worse, and I never really harvest and eat them. Never actually had a meal of them. I'd love to find a place that served them, see what they can taste like when they're cooked at their best. And then this little plant here seems to come up fine. It's chives. So I'll leave it be. Even if we level all this out, I'll leave that be. But those are my thoughts on this whole restructuring, if it were here. As you can see, the vast majority's all up here where the sunlight is. And now we'll go where the sunlight is hours earlier, and where stuff grows much more readily. And that's Garden 2.0, which I think I've been covering for a couple of years, and you can see the results. But that's up here, and I'm even expanding it more. I don't care how ugly it is, it works. So I've gotten all the pots that were contaminated, refilled, compost put into them. I even bought some more. And you can see there's a lot of the same stuff that you saw back there planted here, with seeds, radishes in here, all the tomatoes and the squash, and there's some cucumbers. And I'm gonna put in some more cucumbers. I want a bunch of cucumbers. There's 3 pots of cucumbers down here. I might plant some more. I've got a total of a dozen pots to do something with, and then 2 trays as well. So I got to figure out what I can do with 14 empty containers. And I didn't count those little dinky ones there, and I didn't count about 3 more in the garden. So that's pretty much where things are at. We shall see how things do as we go on along later on. I really meant to do some cutting down of the hosta. I don't mind it here. It's kind of lining the edge, and I don't care. I still haven't gotten to this yet, so the garden's getting there pretty much. I am going to be weeding out and then putting down mulch. That's probably my next big thing to do, and then I'll be more or less done for the season of the big stuff. I got to read up on how to get more blooms from these. These are it's just not coming to my mind. But I got, what is it, 4 plants, I think? 3 or 4, yeah. I think I got 4 plants of these flowers that I can't think of the name of. You get to my age, words go right out of your mind, you know, and they come back later on. It'll come to me. So I'd like to chop this in half, is what I'd like to do, and put more of it out back. I don't know if I can do that at this point. So here's another one of these whatevers. I know what they are, but it's just not there now. And various other things that have grown that I don't know the name of. I just never remember the names of these because I never really memorized them. I know that this is tickweed, and this is the 4th plant. And this used to have, God, when I was working at the TV station, this would put out probably 20-30 blooms at peak. Now look at it, this is 2. I really don't know what I need to do, but I'm probably not fertilizing it enough. So that's a quick brush by there. Here's the stuff I've got to put out there in that area once I get everything weeded. And that's a quick walk around. Up here is going to be my usual Mirabilis. Funny I can remember that name. Peony is the name I was looking for, those plants that I called whatchamacallits. I've grown some peonies from seeds last year, and I've put them in. You briefly saw them. I had about 8 of them that made bulbs, and I've put them into a couple of places around the yard. The big one, the granddaddy of them all that I've had the longest, is right in here. I put it here every year because big yellow blooms, tons of them. And the others will do the same thing this summer once they get going. And eventually their bulbs will get nice and big too. Yes, I'm enjoying just hanging out here in the backyard. Most of the stuff along the edge has popped out and is lining the edge, and that's what I've always been for, is to get plants kind of lining along the edge to the point where a lot of mulching really isn't even necessary. I did a lot of mulching last year, and I may do some back here this year because it does look better, particularly here where there's a lot of space. What I want to do is have this line continue right over here, fill this space in, and I'd probably put those hosta plants. You can see these are sort of growing. I'd probably put the hosta plants right back in here. And also I got irises I could cut out and other such things. I also have that reed grass, and that's going to go in the back of this hill here. That this hill was eroding a lot, but as you can see, all kinds of stuff has grown in here, including reed grass that we've put in here. And I have a feeling the reed grass is going to out-compete everything eventually in many, many years. But meanwhile, I will pull stuff out and I'll put stuff I want better in here and see if I can't get it clumped up. And it'll be a better and better view for what I call the relaxation area way down there underneath this amazing canopy of trees. And on days that it's 90 degrees, that's the best place to go. And we're going to get a couple of those days coming up here. Day after tomorrow and day after that. A couple days after that. That's it. That's the fast one.